What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another brand new league racing video on the channel here today. We're back for round 2 this time of TT Masters League Division 1 here today for the Bahrain Grand Prix. Now, coming into this, I was quite nervous, to be honest, especially coming into qualifying, mainly because I had heard a lot of people talking about a pole time being in the low 124s, and I was actually quite surprised by that. I was able to do about 24 4s, 24 5s in practice, so hopefully that's enough to put us somewhere near the front and yeah, get us in a good position to maybe try and fight for another win. Obviously, if you haven't seen the last video from Australia, we were able to pick up the win there from P5 on the grid, I think, from memory. So yeah, as long as we can start somewhere near the front, we should be in with a pretty good shout of maybe getting another podium, but we can't get ahead of ourselves too much. We've still got to qualify near the front first, and that's what we're trying to do on our first run. A little bit scruffy through the final corner. The lap in general wasn't great. We come across for a 124.9. And yeah, that's no good. That's yeah, that's probably not even going to be a top 10 time, actually, to be honest. But anyway, we bring it back in the garage to yeah, just wait out a couple of minutes, jumping on board with Medium Pilot in the racing point for his banker lap, and he does a 24.497, and that's a banker lap. Like, what? Oh my god, okay. Well, anyway, can't sit here forever with the mouth dropped on the floor. We've got to try and improve and see if we can get close to him. Out for our second run of the session now, and we're going to improve by, what's this, basically about 0.3 of a second, so we're going to cross for a 24.6. Provisionally we go P2, still a 1/10.5 there on the racing point. Now, what was I actually going to say there at the final corner? Oh yeah, the big weak point actually for me around here, which I actually didn't really notice until I checked just before this final run of qualifying, was actually sector 1. We're losing like a 1/10.5 to 2/10 just in the first sector. So hopefully we can try and make that up on our final run here, but anyway, as I just said, this is our final run of qualifying, so I'll let you guys enjoy it, and I'll see you again soon. Alright, and here we are, out of the final corner. We're going to improve by not quite a 1/10 of a second, but look up to the top left here. We go P4, but look how close we are to P2 there. The gaps in this qualifying session were absolutely mad, and in the end, we actually end up back down in P6, which is pretty bad in terms of position, but as I just alluded to, this quali session was crazy close, and you are about to see evidence of that as, can I bring up the qualifying results please? There we go. Look how close that is. 0.3 of a second covering 14 cars. Like, what? That is just mad. Medium pilot never improved on his first run. I think he invalidated at the end of the session there. So Perpetuum takes pole for Ferrari. So the season 1 and 2 champ back on the front row again. And unfortunately we are back down here in P6, which is not too good. But again, a bit like Australia, I was confident that my race pace would be enough to be able to get me onto the podium once again. So yeah, hopefully that that does happen, but we'll see. Now, just before we do get rolling as well, I do have another competitor's POV. Tyler has been very kind to actually lend me some of his footage from this race, or Bullet Boy, as some of you may know him. But yeah, thank you for that, mate. Yeah, just appreciate that. Give us a little bit of a different view of the race to see what goes on. But anyway, formation lap is done and dusted, so we will reform. We're on the inside as well, which isn't really where you want to be, if I'm honest. I'd really like to be on the clean side of the grid, but anywho, we reform, just waiting for the last few cars to come up behind us. And any minute now, we should be all good to get the second round of Division 1 underway under the lights here at Bahrain. Just waiting. Hopefully the lobby doesn't break. No? Alright, here we go. 3, 4, 5 red lights. And away we go here at Bahrain. Looks like the launch is not the best, actually. That's a dismal launch, to be honest. Lemon is going to get ahead of us, but we're going to try and fight back into turn 1 if we can. Still side by side. We've been hit in the rear there. And oh, we're around. We're spun. And now we've got front wing damage as well. Left front end plate is damaged. Verstappen and Machiro off there to the left side of the track as well. But, oh man, that, we really didn't need that. The one thing which I feel like a lot of people forget, and this was thrown around quite a bit in the conversations after the race, is why do you need to try and be a hero at turn 1? Like, there is just no need for it. But anyway, we can't dwell on the fact that we've been run over from behind, and from 6th or 7th or wherever we were, we're now down in 18th with a little bit of front wing damage. But anyway, we're still going to try and keep going, see if we can make something of this race. Probably a bit unlikely, but anyway. Down into turn 1, we're trying to look around the outside at a racing point on hard tyres. Might have been a little bit of leg contact there, but luckily no harm done. Up into rich and overtakes, still there on the inside, so it looks like we're going to have to hang it around the long way here. We should just get that done. He's still there somewhere. There he is. Get a little bit loose on the exit of the corner there, but we do get the job done up to P17 and immediately understeer off the track, so that's real nice. But yeah, I immediately realised that if I was really going to get anything from this race, excuse me, did I just say that like it was with a W? Wow, okay. Yeah, anyway, I knew immediately, like after that damage, if I was going to get anything from this race, that we really needed a safety car. Unfortunately, nothing come in the first few laps there, which I was kind of hoping for, so we're going to pit in for a new nose and a fresh set of medium tyres. Now, watching all this back, I actually think what I should have done is actually stayed out till like lap 8 or 9, and then actually put the hards on, because then I would have only lost a few seconds with the front wing change. But anyway, we've made our bet now, so we've really just got to keep our fingers crossed for a safety car. So yeah, down in 19th, Machiro the only car behind us, but let's jump on board with Tyler to see his POV of the start. Obviously he was a bit further down in P14. Lights out and away we go. Looks like decent-ish start from the Haas driver. Down the front straight. down the turn one. Which way is he going to go? Inside, outside. He looks to the outside. You can see just off to the right of screen there, bunch of contact being made. Somewhere in that melee is us being turned around. And in one corner he's gone from 14th to 5th. Or 14th to 5th? No, Jesus. 14th to 9th. I don't know where that 5th came from, but yeah, anyway. Good start from Tyler there, up 5 spots already, so yeah, we'll see what he can do for the rest of this race. But for us, yeah, really was just nothing happening. I was just trying to push as hard as I could, praying for a safety car or something to happen, but unfortunately nothing really seemed to acclimatise. Verstappen just leaving the pits there in the Alfa Romeo at the start of lap 8. Now, if I can remember, I think Verstappen was around about P14, P15 or something. But anyway, that doesn't really matter. He's come out onto a set of hards. We're on the medium, so we go straight up the inside. I don't want to be held up by a hard tyre runner. And yeah, through into P18 we go now. Next up is Laser on the hards, 10 seconds up the road. I don't really think we're going to be able to reel him in, to be honest. I know sometimes my pace is pretty impressive, but even I don't think it would actually be that good. But anyway, on to lap 11 now. Carlsbury has just come out of the pits on a new set of softs ahead of us. Verstappen's still there, right behind us as well. At this point, Verstappen was actually looking like he was a little bit faster than us, which I will admit, I kind of found that a bit demoralising, to be honest. At this point, as you can see, he overtakes us there at the start of lap 13. I was really tempted to honestly just park it and retire, but I thought, no, let's just keep going. If something happens, we're right back in the game. But anyway, let's switch back over to Tyler now and see just what's happening a bit further up. Pepedum completely misses turn 1 there. I was about to say, where's he going? But yeah, anyway, back over to us. Lap 16, a few more people in the pits there for a set of medium tyres. I think all of those guys actually started on hards as well, as we get a warning for exceeding track limits. That's nice. But anyway, on to the end of lap 16, and I decide just to pull it into the pits, get out of all that fighting. I didn't want to be involved in it. We're not really racing those guys, to be fair. I mean, well, technically we're not racing anyone, but yeah, we probably would have just gotten involved in more of a mess, probably gotten damage, and yeah, we really just didn't need that again. So into the pits for a second time for another set of medium tyres. We're going to re-emerge back down in P19. Mashiro's still running around there in the AlphaTauri as well, so we're not the only one having a hard time of it, but both of us are still trucking along. We're still going, hoping for something to happen at least, but doesn't really look like it's going to. But anyway, back on board with Tyler at the start of lap 18, closing in on Laser, and Matthias gets a bit of a hit from the rear there from Pepedum, actually sending him wide, so Ferrari up to P4, Haas back down to P5. Now there was a steward's inquiry into that, and there was no actual penalties handed out to either driver, but there was actually a warning given to Tyler after the stewards determined that that incident was basically caused by his dodgy internet, which I will admit sometimes isn't the greatest. If any of you have ever watched any of my TNF1 live streams, you'll be able to see sometimes just how bad the poor guy's internet is. But anyway, while I've been talking about all that, we actually had a bit of an incident up ahead of us, and the two Renaults got involved in that. So now we're up to P16, on to lap 24. We're actually up to 15th now, as who is that? That's Recon, actually pitted for a set of soft tyres. And now, as you can see there, our teammate Csl Elite is actually in the pits as well for a set of softs. So a couple of people looking like they're just trying to go for fastest lap just to get something out of this race. But we're up to P14. Looks like that's probably as high as we're going to get. So yeah, anyway, coming on to the final lap now as we jump back on board with Tyler. Gets down the inside of Laser into turn 1. That's for P5. Nicely done from the Haas there. Doesn't look like anybody's got penalties up there either, so he's probably going to come home in P5, assuming nothing happens there. So solid drive, especially from 14th on the grid. Definitely helped, I think, with a bit of aggressive driving from some people. After watching the stream back, there was definitely quite a few aggressive moves being made up and down the field, and I can say this confidently that there were quite a few people after the race who didn't really go much on the driving standards in this race. So yeah, I think that's all I'm going to say about that, because yeah, I've gotten my ass chewed too many times before for giving my point of view on that type of stuff. But anyway, Medium Pilot wins the Bahrain Grand Prix, second race of the season. Dominating drive from the Racing Point driver. You can see just how far ahead he was on the mini-map there. He was just a class of the field today, no doubt about it. But anyway, for us, it looks like we're going to come home P14. As you can see, I'm still pushing because Carsbury ahead actually has a 3-second penalty. So I'm pushing to see if I can get P13 here. But out of the final corner, that plan goes horribly wrong as we spin around. And that is P13 out the window. We're basically out of fuel as well. We're out of ERS. Tyres are dead. Verstappen passes us, but he does have a penalty, which promotes us back up to P14. But man, that was a tough race. Really not what we needed after Australia. Alright, so there we go guys, that has been today's video. TTML Division 1, Round 2 here at Bahrain, and the literal definition of a disaster for us. That really couldn't have gone much worse. As I was saying, looking back at this race, I actually think I should have kept going on the softs and just pitted for the hards. Would have saved an extra pit stop, and I think a stop probably about 20 seconds, so we could have been on the fringes or just outside the fight for P10 there. But anyway, it's these things that you do realise when the race is over. But anyway, updated championship standings after the Bahrain Grand Prix. Medium Pilot now takes the lead of the championship on 55 points. Perpetum up to second on 49. We are back down to P3 on 36, which is yeah, not good. But anyway, 19 points off the lead. Only 2 rounds down. There's like 8, 9 to go or something. So yeah, we've got time. We can definitely get that ground back. It's not going to be easy, but we'll do what we can. 5th in the constructors as well, so it's not too bad in that aspect. But that's it for today guys, hope you've enjoyed, and yeah, thank you for watching, stay safe out there, and until the next one, I'll see you all next time.